Hi, this is CBRadioMagazine.com, and we're going to have a look at the Galaxy DX979 40-channel AM and single sideband radio. This is the newest single sideband CB from Galaxy Radios. It's a very compact radio. It's much smaller than the Galaxy DX959. It doesn't include a frequency counter, but it does still have a lot of other features on it that really make it a great radio. Let's zoom in and I'll show you what it looks like up close. This radio has the standards: volume, squelch, mic gain control, and RF control, and these are all on dual control knobs. It also has a dimming control and a variable power control. The variable power is something you don't see on most CB radios. You do see it on some of the other Galaxy models. The variable power is a really neat feature. What you can do is turn it all the way to the left and lower the dead key down to 1 watt and swing upwards from there. Or you can turn it all the way to the right and run it at full power. Up on the left hand side here, you'll see that there is a talkback. That's a variable talkback control. Next to the talkback is the clarifier control. That's for tuning in stations on sideband. You'll see a switch next to that for the SWR modulation and power. That switch controls the meter functions. The switch next to that is the CB, PA, and noise blank A&L switch. It's a combo switch that you can either have it in the PA position, the standard CB position, or if you want the noise blank A&L, it's on in the upper position. To the right of that is the AM lower sideband and upper sideband control. That's for putting it into different modes. And over to the right you'll see the receive transmit light and the SWR warning light, as well as the channel selector knob and the channel LED display. The newer model of the 979 has MOSFET finals on it, and you'll notice that that has a blue display. This is one of the earlier models. One of the most popular things about Galaxy radios is the meter, and this one's going to be a little hard to get it to show up on the camera there. The meters are very large in comparison to some of the other radios that were on the market, like Unit and Grants or Cobra 148s. The meter has the S meter portion, the modulation portion scale, a power scale, and a SWR scale. Having a larger meter makes it a lot easier to see what's going on, especially when you're driving in the vehicle. These radios look really nice at night. They have the Starlight faceplate feature from Galaxy. It basically lights up the control labels, and so you can see what's going on and where everything is. Let me turn off the light here. It's going to be a little bit tough to see the contrast. I'll take some pictures as well that'll display it better to show the different coloring. It's going to have blue coloring underneath the meter here, green coloring around the controls, and then also blue coloring all the way around the channel display on the right hand side. Very neat, nice look to it at nighttime. Everything is very easy to see, and you can reach all your controls. Looking at the back of the radio, you'll see the antenna mounting position. You'll see that it has a jack for a PA speaker and an external speaker. You'll also notice that it has a frequency counter connector. You can connect like a Galaxy FC390 frequency counter. I believe it's a 6-digit counter. This has a factory jack, so it just plugs in and you can start using an external frequency counter. The external counter is nice. It will read, transmit, and receive. So this is a nice radio to have if you want to unlock your clarifier. You can plug in the frequency counter, and then you can see exactly where you are on transmit and receive. You'll see it takes a standard 3-pin Cobra Galaxy type power plug. This particular radio is manufactured in China, as it shows there on the back plate. Let's take a look inside and show you a couple of the tuning points. Okay, we removed the cover of the radio. The radio is very easy to remove the cover to get inside. It only has 4 screws. Unlike some of the older models where you'd often have 2 on each side, 1 at the front and 1 at the back. The Galaxy radio just has 2 on each side, so it's very easy to remove the speaker cover to get inside to your tuning locations. Okay, we'll start out at the back of the radio and we'll go from there. Basically, starting off, your AM modulation is going to be VR16. It's located right here. Just behind VR16 is VR18. That's your AM low power adjustment. Going just above VR18 is VR13. That's your single sideband ALC control. Over here is VR17. That's going to be your single sideband APC control. Underneath here is VR14. That's your AM high power control. For your modulation meter, that's VR15. That controls the AM modulation meter. Over here we've got VR9. That's your RF meter control. Let's move up to the front of the radio and we'll show you some of the controls up towards the front. Okay, your frequency adjustments are going to be down inside here. These are the same points basically where they were on the Galaxy 959, except they're a little easier to reach on this radio. Remember, the Galaxy 959 has that frequency counter board that sits right above it, so they're a little difficult to reach on that radio. On this radio it's just a straight shot in. L20 at the top of the three canisters is going to be your AM frequency adjustment. The second one here is going to be your upper sideband adjustment, and the very bottom one towards the front of the radio is going to be your lower sideband adjustment. Overall, the Galaxy DX979 was an impressive radio. It performed very well on AM, had very loud audio. The radio tuned up very well on sideband. This radio, just with a basic tune-up, was doing close to 30 watts on sideband. Something you just didn't see out of some of the older sideband radios, and that's something that Galaxy has definitely beefed up in their radios, is the power output. This radio really incorporates a lot of features that I really like to see on a smaller radio. It's nice to see that it has a variable power control. It's really nice to see that it has talkback. The SWR doesn't require calibration. It's an automatic SWR control. The switches are easy to reach. Everything's easy to control. The clarifier is out of the way of the squelch knob and the mic gain, so you're not going to be bumping the clarifier off. It's a very small footprint radio. It's kind of reminiscent, as close as you can get with some of the newer radios and features, is like the unit in PC122XL. That radio, as we all know, is a very small sideband unit. Obviously this one is, not going to be that small, but incorporating all these features into a radio with a small footprint and a front connecting microphone really makes it a nice radio that fits in tight places. Excellent for the mobile. Galaxy radios, like many new CBs, do suffer from a slight amount of frequency drift during warm-up period. Overall, I didn't really run into any problems with being off frequency or anything. I did notice over time in the warm-up period, especially with some cold mornings we still had here at the end of the spring, the clarifier did drift a tiny bit when it was warming up, but once the radio reached its operating temperature, I didn't have any problems. We'll be posting more pictures and more details on the radio at cbradiomagazine.com.